We're kicking off today with the major news after a new World Heavyweight Champion was crowned on WWE RAW this week, bringing Jey Uso's title reign to an end. After defeating his old rival in a WrestleMania 41 rematch, Gunther regained the gold, providing a shocking moment for the flagship show. The two men traded sleeper holds throughout the match in a nod to the finish of their last title match, though Gunther got the best of the situation as Uso ended up passing out, not submitting to lose the gold. This was the fifth time the two men had competed in singles action, with the ring general slightly edging in wins. However, that didn't stop the WWE Universe from reminding him that he tapped out at WrestleMania. Uso headed into this one with taped ribs after Money in the Bank, where Logan Paul had put him through the announce table, which impacted proceedings. Uso did manage to connect with several spears and the Uso splash, but it wasn't enough. The defending champion looked to hit another Uso splash, but Gunther rolled out of the way, and that's when he locked in the definitive sleeper hold. Uso did slip out of the initial hold, but the Ring General quickly got him back to finish the job and reclaim his title. It was an excellent title match, with the two men doing a brilliant job working the crowd with tons of drama and near falls. The fans were fully invested in backing Uso until he had no gas in the tank, which proved to be an excellent finish. Uso remains as popular as ever with the WWE Universe and had been settling in nicely as the world champion, with his rivalry against Logan Paul being entertaining. Therefore, seeing him lose the title did feel a little premature in the grand scheme of things, but this does feel like a part of a wider storyline. WWE may be looking to build a babyface chase to the title, whether that's putting Uso back in that spot or with who wins King of the Ring. However, having two heel champions at the same time isn't always the best way to appeal to an audience. It felt like the air had left the room after this main event, and that's the sign of a great surprise result and that fans were emotionally invested. Gunther is a great wrestler who will consistently deliver, but it'll remain to be seen if this result was the right one regarding Uso's character. Do you believe Gunther winning was the right call from a booking perspective? Let us know in the comments. Although Raw's main event shocked fans, one question stands out: is Gunther's latest championship win connected to Goldberg's long-teased retirement match? Many believe that could very well be the case. Months ago, Gunther caused a stir when he publicly disrespected the WWE Hall of Famer, going so far as to insult the legend in front of his family and fans. The tension was palpable, and before things could spiral into a full-blown confrontation, Triple H stepped in to de-escalate the situation, but not before Goldberg made his intentions crystal clear that he's coming for the ring general. Now that Gunther has recaptured championship gold, speculation is heating up. It looks like WWE could be setting the stage for a blockbuster Goldberg vs. Gunther clash at Night of Champions 2025, potentially serving as Goldberg's final match and a passing of the torch moment to one of WWE's most dominant forces. On the other end of the emotional spectrum, there's been a development involving Jey Uso. According to PW Insider, Jey's recent loss wasn't a shock backstage. It was reportedly part of WWE's long-term creative plan, a setup to give the former tag team champion some well-earned time off. Since stepping out on his own as a babyface, Jey Uso has carried a heavy workload, performing on TV, live events, and pay-per-views without much downtime. WWE has now opted to give him a breather, and this recent televised defeat could be the way they're writing him off for the time being. Whether this signals a brief hiatus or a longer absence remains to be seen. We've all seen similar breaks before, most notably with Cody Rhodes, who took time off after losing the Undisputed Championship and later returned to continue his storyline. For Jey, this short-term exit could serve as a reset. The Yeet Master may be recharging before making a dramatic comeback, possibly in the lead-up to SummerSlam 2025, where fresh momentum and big match opportunities await. So while Gunther gears up for a potential career-defining bout against Goldberg, Jey Uso's next chapter is simply on pause, not over. Money in the Bank provided a massive surprise with RTruth's return, and on Raw, he addressed everything, including a significant change that he's made. The WWE veteran thanked the fans for bringing him back to the company, adding, "RTruth can be too serious at times," before shockingly pulling out some scissors and cutting his hair. The Phoenix audience erupted with holy chants, proving just how surprised they were, as RTruth then delivered a mission statement: "The truth has set me free. I am Ron Killings." Killings then made it clear he's not here to provide the comedy anymore, as he wants respect, proving that this version of him is going to be very different from the man WWE released over a week ago. It's a new era for Killings, and the WWE fans appear to be completely behind it. Whether he'll enjoy championship gold or a further battle with John Cena will remain to be seen. However, the one sure thing is that the days of RTruth are officially over. This was a great way to follow up on his return, as he was able to address the fans while also kickstarting a new era for himself, giving fans something fresh and slightly more serious. Anyone who's been watching Killings for a long time knows how good he is as a serious talent. He proved this during his early TNA run and in parts of his WWE career. Given that he has the full attention of the wrestling world right now, it's likely a sensible decision to tap into that side of him again. Triple H reacted to Killing's return by sharing a photo of them together backstage on social media, adding the caption, "You wanted it, tonight, hashtag WWE RAW." WWE RAW opened with John Cena this week as he addressed his defeat at Money in the Bank, with the 17-time champion pointing out that he has just 19 dates remaining. He blasted fans for their role in bringing Ron Killings back to the company, adding that he'd never be used as a party for a pity party, claiming that fans will lose interest in less than a year. Killings' return cost Cena, but then he ended up being confronted by another former foe in CM Punk, who was on hand to defend the WWE Universe and Killings, as he said, "When the fans want truth, they get Ron Killings." Punk wasted little time getting down to business though, challenging Cena to a title match and allowing the champion himself to pick the date that it would happen. Cena opted for Night of Champions, telling Punk that he must travel to Saudi Arabia if he wants the shot. That's the location where he's never worked before, and Punk has previously been outspoken about the company's human rights issues. Fans didn't get to hear his answer though, as Seth Rollins appeared with his new Money in the Bank briefcase, giving an ominous warning of what he's capable of. It was a great promo segment with Punk getting the WWE Universe invested in everything, and having Cena use Saudi Arabia to gain heat was unique and tapped into Punk's legitimate issue. Night of Champions takes place on June 28th, giving WWE just 3 short weeks to hype up one of their biggest matches, which might lead to an underwhelming build. There are only 2 episodes of Raw to go, which means WWE will rely on a lot of past footage and moments from its history to make the feud feel important. Are you emotionally invested in this storyline? Should WWE have waited until SummerSlam? And how would you book the finish when they do collide? Sound off in the comments. Cody Rhodes may have walked out of Money in the Bank with a monumental victory over John Cena, but that triumph hasn't translated into the momentum one might expect. Defeating one of WWE's all-time greats, the former undisputed champion has yet to be granted another shot at championship gold. It raises an important question: is WWE shifting course with Cody, possibly sidelining him from the title picture for now? Some might see this as a missed opportunity, a gap in storytelling that could disrupt the natural flow of his rivalry with Cena and potentially cool down his red-hot trajectory. With Night of Champions drawing near, the uncertainty surrounding Cody's direction adds another layer of intrigue. Is WWE saving him for something bigger, or has his championship chase been put on hold? Whatever the case, the coming weeks will be crucial in determining whether Cody's journey continues upward or takes an unexpected detour. Worlds Collide featured various top AAA stars, yet it was Mr. Iguana who stole the spotlight, and WWE is continuing to make the most of him by showing a video package that explains who he is in more detail. WWE's obviously not done with Mr. Iguana and seems to have plans moving forward. What do you want to see happen with him? Let us know your booking ideas in the comments. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. AJ Styles was out for revenge this week after his loss against El Grande Americano last time out, and he got exactly that as he overcame the Olympian. Gable was flanked by the Creed brothers, which made things tough for Styles. However, he countered an ankle lock into a calf crusher, which he transitioned to a Styles clash for a big win. The Phenomenal One needed that victory after a shaky few months of booking, and even though there are no long-term storyline plans here, it was enjoyable to see 2 wrestlers of their talent collide. WWE kickstarted the 2025 Queen of the Ring tournament with a fatal 4-way between Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, Roxanne Perez, and Liv Morgan in a brilliant back-and-forth encounter. Morgan refused to accept any help from Perez beforehand as they continued to showcase tension, but that didn't last as they opted to work together once the bell rang. Their partnership allowed them to dominate, but Ripley reversed in oblivion by hitting a riptide of her own. However, Raquel Rodriguez made her presence known by pulling Mommy out of the ring to deny her a victory. The 2 powerhouse wrestlers ended up brawling around the ringside, which allowed Zayn to connect with an insane elbow to Morgan. She seemingly had the match won, only for Perez to sneak in at the last second and steal it from her by pinning the Pirate herself. It provided a notable finish with Perez pinning Zayn at Morgan's expense, adding tension, while Ripley's brawl with Rodriguez brought that feud back to life. What's your take on the Queen of the Ring tournament this year? Who do you believe will win? Let us know what you think in the comments section. This week, the Judgment Day's tension expanded beyond the women, though, as Finn Balor questioned if Dominik Mysterio felt weird about being in the King of the Ring, which led to the Intercontinental Champion asking Balor if he had a problem. While Balor looked to diminish any tension, Perez then got involved as Balor congratulated her on the win. He tried to add more issues by asking Mysterio for his thoughts, to which he said it was good. That's when his girlfriend entered the scene as Morgan told Perez, "I know what you did," to which Perez claimed she was just stopping Zayn from pinning Morgan at that moment. The tension was palpable between them all, and it's clear that the issues will only keep growing between them. Dominik, Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Bron Breakker, and Penta kicked off the King of the Ring in a fatal four-way match as each man started their journey toward trying to book themselves a title match at SummerSlam. Breakker used his power to dominate the match early on, consistently cutting off anyone who attempted to get back into things. However, Breakker's three opponents eventually neutralized him until he responded with a devastating spear to Penta. However, a surprise appearance from LA Knight led to Breakker being taken out of the match as he got revenge for Money in the Bank by nailing him with a BFT. That opened things up to the rest of the playing field, and Zayn took advantage with a haluva kick to Mysterio to earn his place in the next round. It was a great match between four talented workers, and having Zayn pick up the win proved to be a popular decision. What's your take on WWE's current plan for the King of the Ring tournament this year? Who do you have for your winner? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Afterwards, Zayn ran into his recent rival Karrion Kross, who congratulated him on his victory and for doing what was necessary by using Knight's appearance to get the win. However, Zayn believes he won because he was the best man, and he's also good enough to go all the way to win the world title, as he warned Kross to stay out of his way. Knight's appearance on Raw could be a sign that WWE is listening to the fans once again. The WWE Universe started a "We Want LA Knight" trend on social media after he failed to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, proving that they want better booking for him. Will WWE finally give LA Knight a major PLE win to cement his status with the main event crowd, or will he fall to Breakker as WWE continues to build the former NXT champion into a top-tier powerhouse on the main roster? Knight's appearance won't overshadow the achievement that Zayn accomplished this week, as he reminded fans just how talented he is. His Sunset Flip Powerbomb is still the best in the business, as he remains the purest babyface in any major company, and that's why he's going to be an excellent heel one day when the trigger is finally pulled. Raw featured plenty of noteworthy moments this week, but one that seemed to slip under the radar was the fact that WWE quietly announced the return of former women's champion Asuka. The Empress of Tomorrow has been out of the ring since May 2024 when she suffered a knee injury. However, she'll be back in action next week as part of the Queen of the Ring tournament when Asuka takes on Raquel Rodriguez, Ivy Nile, and Stephanie Vaquer. WWE made a major mistake by announcing Asuka's return in advance, robbing fans of what could have been a powerful surprise moment. Given how stars like Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair received huge crowd reactions after long absences, Asuka could have enjoyed the same level of excitement, but the early reveal has likely dampened the impact of her comeback. How do you feel about the return of Asuka to WWE, and do you expect her to go on and win Queen of the Ring? Let us know in the comments. More Jey Uso news now, as after WWE RAW went off the air on June 9th, 2025 at the PHX Arena in Phoenix, the crowd witnessed a heartfelt moment. Jey Uso, who had passed out as part of the storyline, slowly got back to his feet and remained in the ring to address the live audience directly, offering a rare post-show moment that fans in attendance won't soon forget. He introduced his youngest son to the crowd and poured his heart out in a message that blended gratitude, humility, and a promise for redemption. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my youngest son. I'm so happy. I brought him on a roll with me this weekend. You all seen him a couple of times on videos with me. Even though I lost, I'm so glad he was here with me. I really want to say I'm sorry to my son. I'm sorry to everybody here. I fought my ass off. Gunther is that dude. One of the best athletes, one of the best pros I've ever stepped foot in the ring with at the end of the night. I got a hell of respect for that man. I'm gonna give it up for Gunther, but I'm gonna run it back. The crowd erupted with support, but Jey wasn't finished. He thanked the Phoenix fans for their energy and spoke directly to the kids in attendance, delivering a message few expected after a championship loss. Becky Lynch commands a lot of attention whenever she appears, so that's why some fans may have missed a subtle tease when she was shown backstage on Raw. While the attention was on Lynch making her way to the ring, in the background, A-Town Down Under could be seen arguing as the tension continues to boil over between them. Lynch picked up her first ever women's Intercontinental title at Money in the Bank this past weekend. Still, she was unimpressed by how Lyra Valkyria treated her in the post-match celebrations. The former champion was supposed to raise Lynch's right hand after the result, and while she did that, Valkyria ended up hitting a Nightwing to beat down Lynch and leave with her head held high. The man made her feelings on the matter straightforward during her promo on Raw, as she stated that Valkyria was bitter and didn't stick to her word. She demanded that Valkyria make her way out, but before they could exchange words, Lynch was ambushed from behind. Bayley made her long-awaited return to the company and attacked the champion with a thunderous response, which is well-deserved for someone as talented as she is. However, Lynch escaped just in time, only to bump into Valkyria, who sent her straight back into Bayley. She looked to hit a rose plant, but Lynch once again escaped and scampered away through the fans. This is a return fans have been patiently waiting for, and sets up a storyline between two of the original four horsewomen, which will be a major match moving forward. That's something that Bayley in particular deserves after having her WrestleMania 41 opportunity pulled from underneath her. The women's division is bubbling up nicely right now with a loaded roster of talent, and that's why there's a lot of excitement for Evolution 2, which is just 5 weeks away at this point. Although there isn't a single match announced at this point, WWE hinted at some significant plans for the show this week. Nikki Bella returned to WWE this week as she crossed paths with Io Sky backstage, seemingly foreshadowing a potential showdown between them down the line. However, she then stepped into the ring to address the fans. Bella recalled headlining the first ever Evolution while praising the current roster for where they've taken the division ever since. Her positive words were quickly cut off by Liv Morgan though, as she was notably not mentioned by the Hall of Famer when she listed the top talent in WWE today. Morgan took exception to that and demanded Bella show her some respect, adding that if she were around in Nikki's time, then she'd have defeated her with ease, and then things got personal. Liv took things to the next level as she said, "I've got what you don't. Respect, a championship, and a man." Nikki didn't take that lying down though, as she questioned the relationship between Mysterio and Roxanne Perez while bringing up the fact that she also stole her win earlier in the night. However, that only led to Morgan lashing out once again as she said, "You'll always be just a reality show diva." Nikki attempted to get back in the ring to continue the situation, only for Morgan to drop her where she stood with Oblivion, leaving the Hall of Famer face first in the mat. It seemed to be a huge seed planted for an Evolution 2 match, whether a singles bout or a tag team match involving Rodriguez, which could spark a full-blown Bella Twins reunion. It's a huge opportunity for Liv Morgan to work with one of WWE's biggest ever female stars in what will undoubtedly be a significant match at the upcoming event. That was WWE RAW, guys. How did you like it? Sound off in the comments below.